Hi there, this is Tully, and today I'm just adding the details on this Hellhound. I've speeded it up, obviously, as you can see, with time lapse, which is something that I don't ordinarily do, but I did it just to save time because I've got other videos to try and get out there. But I just thought I'd just show you, I'm just adding the white, to the highlighted areas like the claws and stuff like that. And that's really what I wanted to try and add more detail to it, and things like that. Now you see I've added the white on the claws, it almost like a translucent quality to it. That's really because I want to outline the claws at a later date. Just experiment with things really. I'm just adding the red there just to make it more in keeping with the flames in the background, that sort of thing. Just experimenting really with the process of painting. I haven't really painted anything to me.
I just wrote down back of the Hellhound. I was thinking maybe that would be more like flame-like. Probably return to this painting at a later time, but I wanted to get like some of the shadows under the paws there, and other areas, slight little details, try and get the browns in there, like shaded on the cracks in the ground as well, that type of thing. Really just try and make a lot of the colours complement each other, at least try anyway. Try to get some basic shading in there, basic highlights. I mean, you can use whatever brushes you want, or and maybe do your Hellhound in a totally different way. I'm trying to add some rough guidelines there for when I darken the claw outlines. Just trying to find what works, just exploring the paint really. I was going to leave it at that, but I thought maybe a darker outline, so that's what I've done on all the rest. Helps contain them claws, especially when you do like the darker outline like I'm doing there. So that's why I like a mixture of different size paintbrushes are really useful to do, like thinner lines like that, and as I say, I'm really loving the process of painting and just finding ways to apply the paint on the surface of the canvas, and it's really fun. So I enjoy it anyway. It's just add another sort of medium to my channel, which I haven't really done a lot of painting, and I'd like to do more. Certainly would. Just try and fill out them flames a bit. I mean, they might need some more work on them, as time goes on. I'll probably return to this at some point, but at the moment I've just an exploration of the acrylic paints, just to see what I can do. Again, trying to make that stripe more flame-like, like it's sort of like flames are coming out of its back or something like that. Let's try and darken some of the shadows slightly now. To mix, in with some water, to make it more fluid, the paint. So when you sort of like thin the acrylic paint down, it sort of dries much like watercolour when you add loads of water to it, so it dries like 50% lighter, So sometimes you might find you might have to go back and add certain shadows a bit more darker, or things like that. Just adding shadows around the eyes now, as I wanted them eyes to be a lot darker than they are now. Another little marks there, the fine brush there, maybe some hairs on the chin. More of the hairs at the side, I want it to be darker. Black dots for the eyes. Probably add like a little white dot at the side of them black dots in the eyes, just to add a touch of a highlight at some point. And you find when you add like loads of blacks over, the shaded areas, it makes the darker areas recede, and the lighter areas like these claws, they stick out more. I added a bit of white, but I wasn't really sure about that. I can add more yellow over it if I wanted to. I mean, someone said, I think it was Paul's art, said that it resembles more like a skunk. I suppose it does, more than the body of it. So, I just added some white highlights, which I could go over with yellow, just to sort of match the flames in the background, like it's reflecting off certain hairs on the body, and I'll eventually do like a bit of the tops of the back feet and the tail, like I'm doing there. And a lot of this is sort of like dry brush white. I just wanted just the small pieces of the white just to pick up, sort of like the areas that are nearest to the fire, really. Let's quickly add them in there. It's usually when you're doing a painting, it's just a way of exploring the paint. You don't know when to finish, and that was my trouble with this. I think at some point I definitely will be going back to it. I'm adding the yellows there, over the whites, just to try and, add that feeling of the fire reflecting off, some of the hairs and things like that, and just like fire gives off like a glow, so I want that to try and carry through in sort of the areas which you should see fire reflecting. And there we have the finished result. Cheers now!